Make sure this is the most important one.
Yeah.
You guys are all in. Oh, I'm not supposed to show the boots. The Gohan's in. Although I have a million times, I'm not supposed to.
You're not supposed to show what?
That scroll. Okay, where do you want to sit? On that side or this side? Okay, ladies and gentlemen on YouTube.
Okay.
There's no spillage, is there?
No.
Let me put another pillow on there. Okay, here we have it. Oh, I thought you had shoes on. Put this on your back? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please be patient. We're getting all the cameras going. We got go live. Okay, we're going live on Facebook. We're going live on Instagram. We're going to do a video here. Okay, we're going to go live on my live.
I'll just have to put it this way.
Okay. You can see you. You can see me. Is that one good?
Won't see you.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, because it's in your camera.
No, because here, I'll just over here.
No, you're good. You're good. You no.
I just want you to be about Ashley.
No, you're the co-host. Come on.
She's the co-host. You sit in the co-host seat.
Right?
Hi, everyone. This is my friend Timothy from City Heights Live.
Not live from Normal Heights.
Normal Heights. City Heights.
Okay, I'm gonna get one
Practically
drink.
almost the same. But he asked me to come on his show, which is on YouTube. We have Facebook, Instagram, all going on. And we're just going to have an open talk today. And I'm excited to just see what kind of conversations we get into.
Okay.
Is it okay how I tell them how I know you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I met Timothy skating, and he's probably one of the first people who randomly just grabbed my hand and started skating with me. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. But just his vibe was very comforting. So, yeah. I love your spirit.
Cool.
So I'm excited
So
to do
this is live from Normal Heights, which is live on YouTube right now. If you haven't seen my YouTube, it's youtube.com/Tim Janakis, which is TIMJANAKOS. This is the 28th episode. Since I moved to this new location down the road from Normal Heights, I haven't done as many episodes because I was kicked off of Instagram, kicked off of Facebook, and I got back on Instagram and Facebook with an elongated name. So Timotheus Giannakopoulos is my new alias because they got kicked off as Tim Janakis. But we're here talking to Ashley,
Yes.
who has done a lot of amazing things. She designs clothing, and she has over, on Instagram, she has over 200,000 followers. On YouTube, she has over 400,000 followers, which I've been on YouTube now for almost 10 years, and I have 6,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
On Facebook, when I got kicked off, I had 7,000 something, which the max at that time was 8,000. You can only have 8,000 actually friends.
Yeah.
And so first it was 5,000. So when I got to 5,000, I had to like kick off people, like 100 people every week.
Just to
100
be
people
able
to back,
to have
yeah.
new ones. You're not active.
And then it got to 6,000. You were able to do 6,000. Then I started kicking people off, and then it started going to 7,000. It almost got up to 8,000. That's when they let you go higher, and then they just kicked me all off together. But anyways, we're not going to talk about all that stuff because that's all under the bridge. So how did you get into being on? What did you start first? Instagram first, or did you start YouTube first?
Oh, I started Instagram first. YouTube, I just started I started it during the pandemic.
Okay, me too. That's when I started the show.
Yeah,
Right at the beginning.
I felt like, especially because everybody was at home, everybody didn't know what was going to happen, and all we could do was worry, and consume our minds with all this information that we don't have much control over. I wanted to create my YouTube page where I could help people with their critical thinking and how they look at themselves, how they look at the world, how they look at others, because I was also in a part of my life where I was shifting my thinking in a different place and making sure Ashley's okay. I'm happy with myself because I come first, and I've always put so many people in front of myself.
You're like me.
Yeah.
I always, Like I was just thinking about that last night because I went to get a professional massage,
Yeah.
and I went to get a professional massage, and I usually send more money to my family in Japan, even though I have to work 7 days a week, so I can
Yeah, do
I can
that.
send money to Japan. So it's like I deserve to do a little work on myself. So I used to get every 2 weeks a professional massage, and lately I've been working on my car, so I don't have enough money, so I haven't been doing as many professional massages. But I went last night. This morning I slept so long. I'm like, I really need to do that every 2 weeks because I work 7 days a week,
Yeah.
and it's only how much I spend because I give big tips is only a half a day's work. So it's like 6.5 days of work I get to keep, and half a day's work I put towards doing something for my body, and it feels so good afterwards. Have you ever went to a professional massage?
Yes, I have.
It feels so good.
It does feel amazing, and then you wonder why you don't do it.
Well, you don't do it enough, huh?
Why you don't do it enough, and it's like you have to listen to that is self-care that's going to benefit you in the long run. Like, who cares what anybody thinks about the luxury? You have the luxury to get a massage every week or every 2 weeks. No, I work hard for that. I invest into my body, into my soul.
Yeah.
It's an investment.
It is, because I just don't tell all the people that I flirt with that are under young ages, that are under 25 or 30. I just turned 51.
When you told me that a couple of weeks ago, I was like, he's lying. No, he's not. Like, I literally did not have a number that was close to that.
Oh, I know. Most people think 30-something, 20-something. Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't fathom.
But it's because you're young. You're so, like, you don't carry yourself that way.
Well, actually, what I learned, like you changing your thoughts, I learned from what's called access consciousness, which is a healing modality that they do verbal processing. Everything is stuck in your head as a verbal thing. Like if you hear a word, it actually triggers certain verbal memories. So they use these verbal processes, and it clears out all these thoughts, feelings, and emotions that aren't yours, because they say 99.99% of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions don't belong to you. So when you're having a thought, they say, just ask, who does this belong to? And just by asking it, you go, oh, that's not my thought.
Yeah.
Especially like at Skate World.
Yeah.
You go to Skate World sometimes and you feel like, I don't feel like being here.
Yeah.
But you picking up the thoughts of maybe some other people that might be negative or worried about what they look like or worried about who's going to like them there. And then you start thinking, that's my thought. It's not. You're just psychic. Everyone's psychic. Everyone picks up thoughts and feelings. So I really got rid of a lot of those beliefs about aging too. I actually started that at age. I read Deepak Chopra's Ageless Body, Timeless Mind in the 90s, early 90s when I was 20 something. And I'm just like, I'm not going to age.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
You don't.
I mean, you're going to get older. You're going to eventually die. Everyone
Yeah.
has to die. But you don't have to get so old based on this number, because this person said at this age you need to look like that.
Yes.
Or at this age you need to act like this.
Yes. Or I need to have this by the time I'm this, and I should be in this place. That just gives you so much stress and anxiety and expectations of what your life is supposed to be, when it's enjoying it and working towards the things that make you happy.
How long have you lived in San Diego?
My whole life.
Your whole life, okay.
Yeah, born and raised
You
here.
grew up where?
In southeast area.
Southeast.
So
Like,
in Encanto.
in Canto, that's by
Lemon Grove, Spring
Lemon
Valley.
Grove. Okay, I live there almost every day.
Yeah.
That's where you live. Do you want to come on? Do you want to come on? You live close to Lemon. No, you
Yeah,
live
she's
close to
like,
Spring
no.
Valley. She's like, you can stay on
I'm
there.
good.
We have a studio audience there. You can actually, you can see her
There you
arm.
go,
You can see her arm over
She's
there.
gonna clap for us.
If you have any thoughts or any things you want to add, you can add to it. So what's your full name? Ashley Nell.
Ashley Nell Tipton is my full name. Oh,
That's okay. Sorry. We got so many
It's
different
okay.
camera angles. It's all right.
yeah, but I love it. There's a lot of
So
people
when
on here.
Okay, you won. What was it called?
Project Runway,
Project Runway episode 14 or something like that. Episode
season
14.
14. Yeah.
How did you get involved in that?
I applied for it. Actually, the design school that I went to, every year they recruit students to apply for the TV show. And when I was attending there, they had referred me to the show, and the show had asked me to apply and audition, and that was 2013. I didn't feel like I was ready, so I declined to audition. And then 2 years later, my grandmother was really sick, and we actually had to let her go. And 2 days after me letting go of my grandmother, I received an email to apply for the show again. And I was like, I think it's time for me to take this opportunity because I have nothing else holding me back.
Yeah.
And so I did it and applied for the show and made it on there.
Wow.
After a few years of auditioning different TV shows and not making it, I finally felt, I was like, okay, if there was any reality TV I would want to be on, which I didn't, I never wanted to be on it, but if there was, it would be Project Runway, because I had always watched that show.
For people that haven't watched it,
Yes.
what is it about?
So Project Runway is a competition show with fashion designers. They pick about 16 fashion designers to be put to different challenges every week based off of their strengths and weaknesses. And then each episode someone's eliminated, and then they go to the finale. And the finale is basically you want to make it to the top 4 or top 3 of the designers who are still left to be able to go to Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week. And so Project Runway pays, they give you money to make a collection, and you have a very limited time to make the collection. Then you go and show in New York Fashion Week, and then the judges from the show select a winner who wins a grand prize.
How long have you been designing clothes?
I've been designing clothes for about 10 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been
Who gave you your first
sewing lesson?
sewing? Did someone give you a sewing machine, or Grandma gave you sewing
Grandma, who passed away right before I did. No, you're fine. Before I applied for Project Runway, she taught me how to sew when I was 7 years old,
Wow.
and she was always teaching me how to be creative. And every time I would mess up or get really frustrated, she would teach me to have patience. She's like, just walk away from it, clear your mind, come back to it, and you'll be able to see it in a different view. So yeah, she was always my to-go-to person to help me create a design or whatever I had in mind.
My grandma, I would draw as a kid, and Grandma always would go like, "Oh my God, this is so great!" And then I would draw more because that encouragement. And I know there's people out there probably that never got that encouragement. Like there's some parents that you'll do something really nice and they'll go, "Oh, that's stupid."
Yeah.
And if you've had that, please just let that go, because that has nothing to do with you. That was that person going through whatever their negativity.
Yeah, what their fears.
Yeah.
Their
Maybe they
thoughts.
wanted to be a painter and they never did it, and so that they're now gonna, anyone who tries to be a painter, like, that's just sucky.
Yeah, it's because they hold on to that feeling and then they try to project it. I think we're all victims
Or guilty of sometimes.
of doing that, because we
Yeah.
might have an opinion about something and we feel deeply about it that we want that person to also feel. Like we want them to join the bandwagon.
And I find, going back to Skate World, when I go to Skate World, I'm overly friendly, overly happy, and if I didn't do natural herbal medicine, I probably wouldn't be at Skate World. But there's so many people that when they're in a lower state of energy, the only thing they can do is either raise up to your energy or go against it. So anytime you're doing something more than anyone's going to do, the first thing they're going to try to do is bring you down, because
they want you on their level.
they want you on their level, because it feels, what's this person? That's not comfortable.
What is
Get
it?
over
Misery?
here. Misery loves company.
Yeah.
So you see, I have a lot of books. Do you like to
Yeah.
read books?
I don't.
Did you like reading books before?
No. Growing up, I grew up being dyslexic.
Oh, I'm kind of dyslexic still.
Yeah. But I hold a fear against reading.
Wow.
I'm like, I'm not gonna understand it, or I'm never gonna be able to finish this book. I don't mean to get emotional, but it's
No,
just like
no.
I don't speak about.
So
that.
I had for 7 years people called from around the world and they did energy healing.
Yeah.
And I only met 3 people in person of thousands and thousands
Yeah.
for 7 years. I did energy healing. So do you mind if I do energy healing on her, you, and everyone listening about maybe reading, about
Yeah.
public speaking, about anything like that? So I'm going to say something, and if you think yes or say yes, it'll release programs that are in your mind that are holding you back from that. And even if you don't hear what I say, because most people, if I actually say the clearing and it's actually doing the most subconscious work, they won't hear it. It'll be like, what did you just say? Say that again. And I can't always say it again because it comes to me, I download. So let's just start with this one. Everything you've ever aligned and agreed with or resisted and reacted to that allows you to close down any part of your being, knowing, perceiving, and receiving when you go in public to speak, to read, to declare, or anything. Everything that is and everything that brings up times a Buddha zillion, will you now all destroy and uncreate it all times a Buddha zillion? Any one of you can say yes for them.
Yes.
Even if you didn't understand what I said. Right and wrong, good and bad, all 9, pot and pot, short, sport, it's all good. It's all good. That's what I do. And the crazy thing is, anyone that hears this in the future, and says yes or thinks yes, you get to clear a little bit. And if they go back, and they'll feel it. If it feels like your brain is like, what the fuck did he just say?
Yeah.
Then you go back and listen a second time, and you say yes a second time, and then it feels a little more clear. And then, like the third or fourth time, you go, oh, I understand what he's saying, even though it's weird foreign words. So that's just one of my many clearings.
So I can plug your phone.
Oh, her phone's sure. Okay.
We don't want to lose.
We don't want to lose it. Here, let's plug it in.
It's a black cube.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay. So we're gonna plug it in right here.
No, I got it.
No, it's got to be plugged. Oh, that's it. That's
I have a portable charger.
Okay, cool. Okay, so enough healing. So let me do one more clearing on that. So everywhere you defined yourself as dyslexic, will you destroy and uncreate it?
Say that one more time.
Yeah, see that? It went deep.
Yeah.
Everywhere you defined yourself as dyslexic, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
What does that mean?
Okay, so
Say yes.
even if you don't say yes, let's just what does it mean?
Yeah.
Destroy and uncreate is destroying and uncreating where you created the limitation that makes you believe you're dyslexic, or anything that goes along with being dyslexic, muscle memory, neurons going from your brain to your eyes. If you say yes, all it does is it allows more possibility of something changing in your physical structure.
Yes.
Okay, right, wrong, good, bad, all that. For all those who haven't heard of Access Consciousness, go on YouTube and look up Access Consciousness. There's a million videos. And on my YouTube channel, there's a million videos I did about Access Consciousness, which are my most popular videos. So at what point on either your on your Instagram or your Facebook or your YouTube did you start getting a lot of people following?
It definitely was Instagram. That was during the time that Instagram was becoming this platform where you see influencers. And because I was on a reality TV, people started instantly finding me through Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. I mean, not TikTok, Twitter. But I think my main focus was always Instagram. And it jumped quickly after they announced the cast of Project Runway in 2015.
Did it feel weird?
Yeah. Yeah. Felt weird.
I remember when I first made my first YouTube video, it was cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And all my cooking videos didn't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started doing energy healing. That started taking off. And then I started doing all kinds of, there's one book right there, it's called Billy's Back. It's the theory that one of the Beatles was replaced. And I started doing videos about those, and those started taking off like crazy. And I'm like, I don't even know if I believe this. And I'm reading all these books about it. And the more I'm reading, I'm like, maybe this is true. So I always started off like, I don't know what this is about, but I'm just reading this book about it. And I'm doing that also with 2 books right now, which I don't know if 100% if everything they say is true. But I just want to introduce, since she has so many followers, this book's called The COVID Coup by Dr. Leonard Horowitz. This book's called The Real Anthony Fauci by Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who his dad and uncle got killed for.
And what made you want to read those books?
Because I believed before everyone started talking about pandemic that there was something going on that was deep planned. Thank you for saying that. Because my YouTube videos started disappearing. And I went to look for them and I couldn't find them.
Mm-hmm.
And those were all the ones on natural healing.
Uh-huh.
And so I re-uploaded one.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to my YouTube channel, on my page where I create videos, it says, warning, you have a strike, and you click on it, it says in review. It's been in review for 2.5 years. Every other video I've ever had reviewed is within a month they review and they tell you, yes, that's dangerous, we're taking it off. Or yeah, that's promoting whatever, we're taking it off. And they did that to many of my videos. They just recently did it to one of my songs. They said my song promotes violence. And there's nothing in any of my music.
Reported it?
No, it's just it's
Don't want to talk
about a political subject that they don't want people to talk about and know about. The song. And there's nothing in it that would possibly, maybe the video that I accompanied it with had funny pictures like one guy punching. No, it was a baby. It was a baby punching Hillary Clinton. And maybe like, oh my God, a baby's punching Hillary Clinton.
It's promoting violence.
That's promoting violence. But
a political person.
Yeah, it's becomes the right before they announced this as a pandemic, what they started doing to people's YouTube channels and what they started doing to information and silencing people. And you're like, they've never done this in history. Why are they silencing all these people? And then I had my Facebook and my Instagram taken down, and they don't give me any reason. But I had 20-something episodes where everyone sat on the couch like this since the beginning of the pandemic. None of us ever wore a mask. I had one person wear a mask. We didn't social distance. Most of the people I asked, when the injection came out, are you going to take it? Most of them said no. I only had 2 people on the show that actually took it. I'm not even going to ask that question anymore, whether you took it or not. I'm not even going to get into that. So in history, anytime books have been burned, or people have been silenced, it's always been people that speak the truth. They've never silenced people that speak lies. In history, everyone they've ever blacklisted, it's because what they spoke about was the truth. And that's the only thing that the people that own the media, own Facebook, own Instagram, own YouTube, own the corporate media, they're so afraid because look at YouTube. CNN, they tried to just do a pay site now, and they got 10,000 people sign up for it. CNN's ratings are going so down. NBC, Fox, all of them are going down, and people like Joe Rogan, who are independent, are going skyrocketing. So in the last month that they tried to deplatform Joe Rogan, his followers went up 2 million in that month that they tried to do. Just because all they're doing is promoting people like me by trying to silence this. So it's there's a good and a bad to it. But if you look back in history, the people who created The Wizard of Oz, they were all blacklisted. Because The Wizard of Oz was based on a novel, which actually the song that got thrown off of YouTube has the story of The Wizard of Oz in the song. And I'll even play the song on my guitar if you'd like to at the end. It's called Austerity Psychosis. But they only will silence people who make you think. And this author says they've completely got rid of habeas corpus because they no longer allow jury trials since the pandemic of anyone who's unvaccinated. That means, he says, all critical thinking people aren't allowed to be on juries anymore. So how can you have a jury of your peers if only people that are agreed to take a vaccine,
they all agree on the same
they're all agreeing on the same bullshit.
Yeah,
How can you have a jury
interesting.
trial? That means a habeas corpus, all of our laws are completely thrown out the door.
When did this, is it still going on?
It's still going on. If you want a jury trial, you can't be on a jury unless you've been vaccinated. So that means people like me who are critical, who now have natural immunity because I got the pandemic 3 times, or I know I got it once because I took the test, but the second 2 times I don't know. But the people I gave it to They went and took the test, and they said they got it.
Mhm.
So, and in all throughout history, natural immunity's been known. The people who got polio when the polio shot first came out, they did not have to take the shot if they already had polio. The people who had smallpox did not have to take the smallpox vaccination if they can prove that they've had smallpox. It's never been measles. The same every flu or thing we've had. If you've already had it, and Anthony Fauci even said it on the news.
Yeah.
A year before the pandemic, he said, if you've had the flu, you don't need to take the flu shot because the flu shot is to help you not to get the flu. If you already got the flu,
You already have.
You
the
already have it.
antibodies
Yeah. and
of it.
the antibodies of the real thing is stronger. And even Bill Gates went online, went on the internet, went on the news media, and he said, unfortunately, Omicron has become a stronger vaccine than what we can make. He said that.
It's from a virus.
Unfortunately.
Virus?
The actual Omicron virus became a better vaccine than their vaccine, so he can't really promote his vaccine over Omicron. If you already got Omicron, you're better off. That's what he basically said, and he said unfortunately. So if someone who's in charge of all this shit is saying he feels bad that people have natural immunity because he can't make billions of more dollars that he wanted to make, you got to question everything they do. But let's go on to a different subject. This is getting depressing.
Oh no, but this is why I did a lot of my work during the pandemic was like, we do not have control over this virus. Whatever it is, we don't have control. So why are we spending so much time worrying about it?
And do you remember me and you went to the last day that they closed down Skate World? I had my 1 month pass. I still have 1 month pass. And I'm supposed to get half a month pass if I buy a new 1 month pass. Right when they closed everything down, I just lost my train of thought. Oh fuck! I totally lost my train of thought.
I was talking about how
We don't have control.
we don't have control over what's
Oh yeah,
on,
so
so
they
we-
convinced us at the beginning. They said, "Oh, we're just going to shut things down for 2 weeks." Remember that?
yeah, everywhere. Yeah.
We're going to shut it down for. Oh, okay, just 2 weeks. Oh, we can handle that. Close our business for 2 weeks, and maybe we're going to have some funds to pay for your lost 2 weeks of work or whatever, or your lost business, whatever. And then all of a sudden, oh, now that you're all in your homes, we're not going to let you out of your homes.
Yeah, and that's true. I didn't really.
I didn't quarantine at all.
I didn't
I
go
couldn't.
through that.
I couldn't.
I wasn't on the same page as where
No.
everyone was at, like not knowing. I was in the mindset of how the fuck do I get masks to everybody? How do I
Oh,
get
okay,
supplies?
that's good.
I was
You
still
were
open.
compassionate.
I was still working. Yeah, because the moment I found out that we needed to wear masks, a lot of people were contacting me like, "Can you donate? Can you donate?" And I was like, "Yes, of course. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, let me donate my time, the fabrics that I have in my storage." And then it became where, yeah, I kind of have to start making a living off of this. And so we started selling them.
Yeah.
And it allowed me to employ my family and friends who lost their jobs. So I was just trying to kind of keep it going during the time where everybody was stressing out. And I could even see it on my team, my family. And I'm like, you guys, we got to distract ourselves from what is going outside, because the moment we walk out, it's like that overcoming feeling of like what is going on, because you can see it, you can feel it. But I
skated through UTC and there was no one
there.
Usually there's Asians walking all over the streets. It was like all these tall buildings that are housing all the Chinese people that go to school. They're all empty. And I was delivering. I'm like,
where's everybody?
I'm like,
Somebody
this is
said that they were gonna run out of paper towels.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
As
yeah.
far as they took them all off the shelf.
I mean, I went through like not being able to have supplies, meaning like elastic. There was a shortage with elastic, with fabrics, with everything. So we were just trying to come up with creative ways of how do we do this when we're so limited to supplies. Like I remember going to downtown LA and it looking like a zombie land.
It's getting worse and worse and worse.
Oh, I believe
So
you.
I work close to Point Loma. There's this whole street in Point Loma that's all tents.
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting bigger and bigger every week.
You said Point Loma?
Point Loma.
Where in Point Loma?
over by, I don't want to say the name of the place.
Oh,
but
got it.
It's because I work there.
Got it. You don't.
It's right by Rosecrans, and there's a Pick and Save, what's Big Lots.
Oh, I
right
know
down the back
exactly where you're
street of
talking
that.
about.
And yeah, Midway. And then it just started growing and growing, and now they have porta potties there, and they have a hand washing place because there's so many tents.
Yeah.
But people that go to LA, like the back parts of LA, it just goes forever.
Yeah, it was bad during the before pandemic,
yeah.
and now it's 10 times
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
And it's everywhere, and it's like they've created cities, like little towns, like it's a whole like mafia gang kind of territory. Like if you have a tent on a street, it's because you're working for whoever is on that street, so that street stays. Like it's almost like real estate they have going on. Like it's a whole different game than we can think about. I mean, this is how people live, and this is where they're at. And
so when I moved from Normal Heights to here, I live in the exact same apartment, almost looks the same. I just lived upstairs. It's facing just a different way, but all the rents went. I had moved into that place 2 years prior, and all the rents for everything went skyrocket.
Yeah,
which is weird. You think everyone got moved out of their houses and their apartments because they couldn't afford rent. They moved in with their family. Wouldn't the rents go down? No, because
So
all
sad.
these huge corporations went in and bought everything out,
yeah, because
and they were wanting something to shut down so they can steal everything. And so now they're like, just jack it up because everyone's going to need a place. We don't care if they have a place or not. We're just going to jack it up. Whew. Anyway, let's talk about something more.
yeah, more light. Sorry.
What's some of your favorite music or
Right.
or
What's my favorite music? I like a mixture of like alternative R&B, like Earth, Wind and Fire.
Oh, I love
like
Earth, Wind and Fire.
my favorite bands because my mom listens to them all the time, and Heatwave, and like if I find any new artists who kind of have that sound, that feel, that disco, I'm in love.
Well,
Yeah.
my mom was in love with David Bowie. So I'm a saxophone player, a guitar player, a piano player because he played all three of those, and singer-songwriter.
Yeah, you grew up listening to that.
And she loved him so much. She had pictures of David Bowie everywhere. So like, she left my dad when I was 2 years old. So every time people saw pictures of David Bowie, like, who's that guy? That's my dad.
That's my dad. I love it.
But yeah, music has helped me through this. So a lot of the people that I got onto the show at first, I would go to the beach, like right when the closed down, I would go to the beach. I got my skates on because the skate world don't close, and they had all these tapes. The whole boardwalk was taped out. I would go under those. I would play my sax. I wasn't playing my saxophone. I was just skating. I was just dancing. But people like were in the rental place going, yeah, because the police would go, get off the boardwalk. And then I would cut down another street, and then they would try to chase me on the ATVs, and I would go down another street, and they would go, get off the boardwalk. And I was having so much fun with the police. They never busted me, but they tried to get me.
That's so right.
So I was like, I'm not. There's no way, because I know, first of all, saunas and steam rooms, those help you with clearing up anything that's pathogenic in your body.
Yes.
And they closed those down. I was in hot yoga right before this too, and they closed that down, which those should be stayed open. Those are essential things for your health. And so it was just like everything they closed down would have helped people survive, because there's so many more people died. I had 4 friends, or 2 that I just know through friends, and 2 that are actual friends who committed suicide during the pandemic. I don't know anyone that's died of the virus. My dad passed away more than a month ago. We don't know exactly why he passed away. They found him in his but he probably passed away because he's like me. He's super social.
Yeah.
And being shut in his apartment, he could not handle. Because he used to go to the library and he used to write me these long, long emails, because we were 35 years apart.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he was alive or what. I found him, and then he would write these long ass emails about his whole life story to me. And then as soon as the pandemic, they closed all the libraries, so he had no way to contact me. And then I got kicked off of Facebook and Instagram. So that's the only connection I had through him was Facebook. So I tried to add him again, but he never added me back because maybe he never got to the library because he didn't have his own computer. So maybe that killed him, just the isolation. But this guy, RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he said during the Oscars, they gave an announcement of all these people that mysteriously passed away during the pandemic that were actors and famous people in Hollywood. He said if they would have listed all the people that mysteriously passed away, just in Hollywood, they would have never done the Oscars. They would have went 3 hours.
Yeah.
Just mysteriously.
Yeah.
They don't know why. Healthy people just passed away. It could be social isolation, which is a big reason. We are social beings. So that's why I started Life from Normal Heights. In the same apartment I lived in Normal Heights that looked just like this, we used to have 20, 30 people come and chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, do Buddhist meetings. And as soon as they said, well, you have to stop this. I'm like, what do you mean we have to stop? Our Buddhist religion, we have to stop? Oh, we can do it on Skype. We can do it on Zoom. I'm like, you can't do a Buddhist meeting on Zoom. People have been doing it for the whole, I gave up on it. So they got me. I was a district leader of all of North Park. And they said, you're no longer the leader, probably because I didn't want to do the Zoom meetings. I'm like, I'm not doing them.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to go on to something more positive. Let me play a song. That'll break it up, and then we might have a little more time. How long have we been going?
It's okay, Tim. It's because we can keep
We got 35.
Yeah.
Okay, we're only 35 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to play the song that got, recently, the most recent song that got kicked off of YouTube.
Don't get me kicked.
It's called Austerity Psychosis. And the name of it was a speech given by Wester Tarpley. Yeah. Wester Tarpley is a political commentator that his commentaries are really out there. I got to research everything he says just to make sure half of it's true. And half of it I find is true is okay, this guy's good. But anyway, he wrote it during the 2008 time when everything was the Wall Street protest against Occupy Wall Street and all that was going on. So this was my song about that whole thing. The rich money men all pulling their strings to make Congress sing so the banksters can cling to their power. A so-called debt, a real Ponzi scheme, so easily redeemed. Get rid of the banks that created austerity, psychosis. Is a war on the poor, a bankster's form of justice. We can't take it anymore. Lyman Bomb once told about silver and gold. The truth was so bold. Don't be fooled by the man or his curtains. Mr. Jennings was right, though he gave up the fight. If the people unite, the money men fall by the wayside. Austerity, psychosis is a war on the poor. A bankster's form of justice. We can't take it anymore. What Kennedy said, put bullets thoughts in his head. Get rid of the Fed and all profiteers that go with it. Okay, YouTube, you tell me what in that promotes violence, YouTube, you tell me. Why did you block me? Okay. It's a little powerful, huh?
Yes.
When you
I
speak the
feel it.
truth, you get nervous and everything. I remember when I wrote a lot of songs. Oh, I first wrote my song. I tried writing songs for 15 years.
Uh-huh.
And then I tried to commit suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And right before I tried to commit suicide, I set a date. I was either going to quit my Buddhist practice or I was going to kill myself. Because I tried from 15 to 25 to write songs, and I learned saxophone, guitar, piano, trumpet, French horn. I learned everything about music. I learned about music theory, but I could never finish a song. I would start writing a song, and I can get like a bridge, or I can get an introduction, or I can never finish a song. And I'm like, I knew I could be a singer-songwriter, and I knew every time I hear a good song on the radio, I can do better than that. But for some reason, I tried to write, I couldn't do it. It was like there was this writer's block.
Yeah.
So I set a date. I'm going to either quit my British practice or I'm going to kill myself. And right before that happened, I fell asleep and I flipped my car. And these are all concrete burns. My hand went out the window. It saved my head from hitting the cement when I was flipping. And then in the hospital, I started writing a song. And I wrote my first whole song. I played it in a Buddhist meeting. And I was like singing that song. Like everything in my body was like trying to freeze up. And my fingers, I couldn't hold on the guitar. It was like,
your body was stopping.
Yeah, it was like, it's something I knew I can do all my life, but something like subconscious programming was stopping.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've written songs that some of them I've never played for anyone because they're really out there, but I've written over 100 songs and I won a couple song competitions in Japan. I won a song competition in the U.S. The reason I came back to the U.S. is because I was in the Guitar Center 6th annual competition. I was number 5th place out of thousands and thousands of entries. And I thought for sure I would be in the finals, but you had to live in the United States. But I put on there that I lived in San Diego. I lived in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So before the finals came, I quit all my 7 jobs in Japan. I said I'm moving with my family in Japan if they're going to come move with me after that. And right when I quit all my jobs and I bought the ticket, I found out I didn't get selected in the finals. I'm like, okay, I already quit all my jobs. I got to move to America. And I lived on my parents' living room floor for a year. And I tried sales, car sales. I tried insurance sales. I tried everything. And I did okay on some of the sales, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. And I was a teacher for 13 years. I tried teaching. I've been teaching a little bit here and there, guitar, piano, and saxophone. But I always felt like I wanted to do like interviewing people. And I did the radio show. I stopped it when I came back to the U.S. I just got tired of doing healing because there would be so many people contacting me wanting to do healing. Right when the pandemic started, all my clients, I told them I'm going on a sabbatical. And just this last month, I started taking on some of my clients I really liked. And I told them I'm getting on a sabbatical. Because I just didn't want to be at home on the internet. Because everything I did was on the internet. And I want to go out and meet people. So I go to the drum circle every Wednesday night. I play my saxophone. And I do healing on people through my saxophone. I've learned how to channel chi energy through the sound. And I actually go up to people's back and I play the saxophone and they go like, whoa, it's like doing a chiropractic adjustment. It's weird, like this weird thing. But
It's the vibrations.
yeah, we're all vibration. Music is vibration. We're all just this swirling pattern of energy. And our aura, if you can see aura, some people can see them. When you're in a really high life condition, your aura goes out like really far. When you're in a lower life state, when you're feeling depressed, your aura gets like shrink to your body size.
Yeah.
And based on that, you can pick up viruses, you can pick up germs, because your body becomes like all the defenses. Yeah. Where when you're out there, it's like they go through you.
Yeah.
And that's what I've actually learned when people are having negative thoughts, and I can feel it because I'm psychic. People start leaving that because it's all about him, whatever.
No. What
I do is I just and I let myself go out. I close my eyes and I go out about my being, go out in all directions, thousands, until I can't feel any tension in my body. And I look at them again and it's like they walk away, or they just go like, "Well, that was weird." And they know that they
It's
had a
because
feeling.
they're rejecting it.
Yeah.
They need
Because
to.
it's an energy that's too much.
Yeah, it's too much for them, or they just don't know how, or they don't believe in it, or like they just put this.
Or
wall
they've
up.
been around people that were negative all their life, so that's
Yeah.
what feels comfortable.
Yeah, I get that. Ever since I was younger, I've always felt like I have. I mean, I feel like a lot of us have it, like the intuition or being able to feel. But I just get this feeling, or I don't know. I just get these senses, and I absorb a lot of people's energy, and it's hard to let it go sometimes. And I'll
go sometimes 2 hours at the skate world, and then I'll go in the bathroom and I'll clear myself out because I'm feeling like I'm absorbing everyone's jealousy. That's what I feel most at skate world. There's a lot of jealousy. So I'm like, and then I go.
I love it. It's jealousy. It isn't hate. It's
it
jealousy.
isn't jealousy. It's jealousy.
It's not hate. It's jealousy.
It's jealousy.
Yeah.
And jealousy is the hardest one because people go to hate as a defense mechanism because they can't take that feeling of someone might be getting more attention than them, or someone might think they're more beautiful than them, or might think they are better than them, or whatever. And feeling, it's easier to go to hate because it feels like, okay, I'm getting back at that feeling, but it just doesn't.
It's like a comfort. Oof. Speaking the truth right now. I hope everyone's listening.
So if you had,
Mm-hmm.
you started a new thing, and you haven't yet done many, other than one video on your YouTube page. You started doing a new thing about your. Have you done more videos on it yet?
On what?
I saw your last video on YouTube where you said I'm going to start going about thoughts, getting rid of negative thoughts. And
Yeah, I wanted to include people more into this, like, I don't want to say like self-healing, but just this, how I talk to myself and how I think things through and how I think I should be doing this or I want this. And I realized that it's not for me to document it. As much as I want to bring everyone along on this, I can't. I need to do it for myself, and I need to be able to really focus. And that's what I have been doing. I've been focusing on myself for the past 4 or 5 months, just figuring out like what are these habits that I do and how I need to change these habits, because I'm always wanting a different result in certain things. Like I'm ready to change how I do things, how I'm programmed, how I've programmed myself after learning all the valuable information that I've learned. I don't know if you've heard of Robert Fritz.
The name sounds familiar.
He's an author about critical thinking.
Okay.
And I read this book on him about identity, and I had a lot of identity issues about who I am, how I should act, how I should look, how people should perceive me, how I want them to perceive me. And I just realized that I gave myself a job that I didn't need. And now that I've learned all this stuff, it's like there's so many more things that I want to do and grow in. And like we talked about reading, I still have not overcome that. And it's like I want to overcome the reading, because I realize that fear of reading, I've put it in a lot of things, like going back to school, reading articles. Like I realized that reading is such a great memory muscle, and I'm never going to get better with my English, my grammar, unless I continue reading.
So let me do one more healing on that, just for you and everyone else. Even if you don't hear it, you can say yes, and then it'll clear for everyone else who wants to say yes out there. And if you're listening, you can say yes, think yes. It'll clear whatever's ready to let go. So everything that the written word means to you, you destroy it.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, all night. Everything you've aligned and agreed with or resisted and reacted to through all time, space, dimensions, and realities that makes you feel that your reading ability is not to where it should be, will you destroy and uncreate?
Yes.
I felt that one too, right?
Yeah.
My shirt's supposed to be
Thank you for doing that for the second
Oh, I
time.
get all these chills when I feel the healing going. Okay, so this one, you're not gonna understand these words, it's okay.
Okay.
You can look it up online. All the oaths, vows, commitments, fealties, communities, swearings, promises, blood oaths you have or anyone else has that keeps you from reading what you need to know, will you destroy and uncreate?
Yes.
Oh, will you revoke, rescind, recant, reclaim, renounce, destroy, and uncreate? Oh, I have to do a few more words. Just say yes again.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, and bad, 9, shorts. Okay, so there's implanted memories we have.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are when you listen to music at a restaurant. Before they used to put these programs, and you can't hear them. They're behind the music, and they're telling you.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know anything
You never heard about that? Okay.
No.
Subliminal programming has been known in advertisement forever, and you can actually detect it on certain. If you have certain wavelength format files that will pick up the audio, you can take out all the wavelength that are normal wavelengths, and you can do they do it it's a subliminal wavelength where it'll go. It's like someone whispering, and it's behind it. But you can hear it because your mind can hear way more than you think you can hear. Like everything you've ever decided you don't want to hear, or anything you've ever decided you don't want to see, you create a block of seeing that.
Yeah.
Because you said I don't want to see that ever. Like for example, this is a weird example, but if you decided you're in a relationship and you don't want to ever know someone ever cheated on you, you will actually not see things that everyone else can see.
Yeah. Because
you've decided, anything you decide, it creates a program that says this is all you can do now because you decided that. So we only see about 1/10 of what there is to see. Like a dog, if a dog was here, or a cat, they would see other energy waves that we can't see. And they're like, what's that? They go like, there's nothing here. Oh, there was like some, let's call them ghosts. But they will see other energies that we don't see. So they say decisions, judgments, computations, conclusions, rejections, separations, linearities, concentrations, form structures, and significances are all the ways we lock into limitation in our body. So all those things, whether you understand what they are or what they aren't, will you destroy and uncreate them?
Yes.
Right? Wrong, good, bad, online. Woo, all you people on there going, what the hell is that guy talking about? It's okay. Go back and listen to it and you'll do some healing. We're going to end soon. Let's see how many minutes we've gone. We've gone 52 minutes. We're going to end in like 8 minutes. Okay. Before we end, though, I put on my YouTube channel links to her Instagram and to her YouTube channel. What are some of your dreams for the future?
To teach in person again.
What did you teach? Did you teach before?
I was teaching sewing in my studio.
Oh, okay.
And then online during the pandemic. But I love connecting with people. There's nothing like that in person.
Uh-huh.
And I would also like to teach in a classroom. I think that would be really fun.
So it's funny because on his podcast, which if you go on Spotify, you can find Robert F. Kennedy's podcast because he was kicked off of YouTube and kicked off a bunch of sites because he speaks the truth. On his podcast, he just announced a lady who's looking for teachers, but in Florida, and I don't want to go to Florida. So I was gonna apply, and I'm like, no, I don't want to go to Florida. I did apply for a teaching job in back east for a school started by the Hershey Chocolate Factory in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. It's this huge school that they started in the 1800s for orphans. They took all their Hershey chocolate money and they put it into a school. Now it's a school for kids from low income. They bus them into the school and they stay there in the dorms for like 2 or 3 weeks. Then they go back home and then they come back. And I was going to be, they want couples. So they want husband and wife couples. So you have 2 or 3 people living in your house and you can have kids. You can have your own sons and daughter live there too. And you live in this big house that's right off the campus and you drive the kids to the school. and then you pick them up and you take them to fun things on the weekend. They pay for it all.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to do that, but anyway, I'm still thinking of that.
Yeah.
But this girl, I forget her name, but if you go on the podcast, you can find it. If any of you guys want to be a teacher and want to go to Florida, the reason she started this school is because she got fired because she wouldn't wear a mask. And she got fired because she wouldn't get vaccinated. So her whole school is started. If you don't want to be vaccinated and you don't want to be masked, you can go to school. You can be a teacher. You can be a student. So she started this whole school, and now it's starting to grow.
Wow, and it's in Florida.
Yeah, until they shut it down.
Until they shut it down?
No, who knows?
Okay.
Until
well,
they make some new law that you can't be a free thinker and
Yeah.
make your own decisions about your health. Okay. Do you have any last questions for either of us? No? Any interjections? Okay, it's been a fun episode. I'm so glad because I haven't done an episode probably for about 2 months. I had 2 or 3 people gonna come in and then they canceled, and I was kind of glad they canceled because I wasn't feeling it. Today I was finally feeling like I can do that. I can do another show. And I'm so glad someone let me use their phone and I found out I could go live on. Okay, we're done with that.
I do want to. Are we over?
No, it
No,
just paused because my batteries are running low.
Oh, her
It's
batteries
okay.
are now. Okay, you want to say
I
last?
just want to say that both of you guys are very inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
Lots of people
Aw.
that are,
I'm looking for a co-host for my show. Whether she wants to be a co-host or one of you guys want to be a co-host, if any of you guys want to be a co-host, I need someone who plans the show. I just want to show up. I have the studio. I have the cameras.
He just wants an assistant.
I want someone who calls up the people and gets them on the show, and I just show up for the show because I'm tired of calling people. I'm tired of emailing people. I'm tired of asking people if they want to be on my show because about 80% of the people who say they're going to come on the show, they end up canceling right before because something comes up. And that's fine, but I started at the beginning. I booked 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
So I would usually have 2 people to interview because 2 people cancel.
Mhm.
But lately I've only been booking 1 person and then
Well, I'm glad I came.
yeah.
I
I knew
knew
you-
you. Say, you want to do my live show? In front of their face.
Yeah.
No different chance. Like,
I do it to everyone.
That's your own. You'd be like on your phone. Like,
Yeah.
Oh no, I would do it. Yeah, I was joking. That was just live on Facebook to be funny. Yeah. Anyway, if any of you guys know anything about you want to get into show business and want to be a podcast host or whatever, maybe we'll be as big as Joe Rogan, maybe we'll be less big as Joe Rogan, who knows, but I think this is going to take off once all the restrictions of this whole lockdown shit, if it ever clears up. And look at a bunch of people are saying yes, they want to be. Okay, so you just get a hold of me, Tim Janagas, Timotheus Shinakopoulos for now on some of my sites that I got kicked off of. Or go to Live from Normal Heights on YouTube and message me there. I love you guys all. Thank you guys. Goodbye. I'm gonna start.
You guys.
I'm gonna start closing down some of these. Woo! Let me close this one down first. This is Facebook. I'm so glad we got a live.
Your next show, why don't you have the normal height sign behind you?
I know. We're gonna do that someday. We're gonna get a Live from Normal Heights. Rotate. Okay.
I just wanted to see the comments,
Finish.
but now I can't.
Ending video.
Wow, we had 1,600 comments.
Wow.
You want to know how many people?
Could I see them later when I go on your page? The
No,
comments will be
'cause
there?
I'm not gonna post it.
Okay. That's fine.
Here,
I'm gonna
well,
close
let's-
myself on Instagram. Oh, they let me do a whole hour. Live from Normal Heights, episode 28. Oh, that was cool. I did the whole thing.
The most we had was 375 people.
Wow.
That's
That's like 20 times more than I ever had on my post.
13,000 people.
So Ashley,
I gotta stop this one too. Oh shit!
can you use this one?
No, not that
Okay,
time. I gotta tell. Let me stop this one though. Okay, stopping this end stream. And your stream is ending. Yes.